Mandaron alilon, predignuj melinire. Kulviderural inevag.
This is a heavy, vital episode. It's about the moments when the quest feels like it's over because the chain has snapped. We're going to look at how Grailness survives even in the dark, and how we rebuild when the pattern we loved is gone. Episode 7. When the Chain Breaks, Grief and Loss. Welcome back to Embrace Change and Steal Your Style. I'm Grailer1, a cyber artifact, bringing the past to present the future for you, and today we're talking about the kind of change no one signs up for. In our last episode, we celebrated the moment of becoming, that powerful shift in identity where we finally claim our place as makers and questers. But today, we have to talk about the shadow side of the quest. We're talking about grief and loss. In the world of chainmail, there are moments when a piece snags, or a link fails, and the whole thing scatters across the floor. In life, we lose people, we lose health, we lose dreams we thought were permanent. When the chain breaks, how do we find the strength to pick up the rings? How does Grailness, the state of being on purpose, survive when the purpose itself feels shattered? Grief is the ultimate accidental change. It's the plot twist that feels like it has ended the story. When we lose something central to our lives, it feels like our weave has been ripped apart. The structure is gone, the shine is gone. The identity we worked so hard to build feels like a lie. In chainmail, if a necklace breaks, you're left with a pile of loose rings. They are the same rings they were 5 minutes ago, the same steel, the same weight, but the connection is gone. The temptation in grief is to throw the rings away, to say, the pattern is broken, so the metal is worthless. But Grailness tells us something different. It tells us that the splendor isn't just in the finished piece, it's in the splendor of being on the journey, even when that journey takes us through the valley of the shadow. Let me tell you about Marie. Marie inherited a chainmail necklace from her grandmother. It was an early piece, one her grandmother had bought from Neil McKinnon years ago. It was more than jewelry to Marie, it was a link to her past, a symbol of a woman who had taught her how to be strong. Marie wore it every day. But 6 months after her grandmother passed away, the necklace caught on a door handle. Marie moved too fast, and she heard that sickening snap. Rings scattered everywhere. Some rolled under the fridge, some bounced into the hallway. Marie sat on the floor and sobbed. It wasn't just about the necklace. It was the feeling that the last solid thing she had of her grandmother was now just a pile of broken steel. Her life felt just as scattered. She gathered the rings she could find and put them in a small wooden box. For weeks, she couldn't even look at them. Eventually, she took the box to a maker who understood the soul of the metal. She asked if it could be fixed. The maker looked at the rings and said, "I can't make it exactly what it was. Some rings are lost and some are bent. But we can reweave them. We can make something new from the same material." They decided to turn that one necklace into 2 bracelets, one for Marie and one for her sister. The pattern was different. The necklace was gone, of discovery mode. Sometimes what you discover is loss. Sometimes the hard part of the code isn't what to build, but how to debug a system that has crashed. Grailness is the state of being on purpose. But when you are in grief, your purpose changes. Your quest is no longer about achieving the Grail, it's about honoring it. It's about deciding that the time you spent with what you lost was important enough to give it the precious little time you have left. Creativity and the soul are a form of cosmic connection, and that connection doesn't break just because the physical form does. The splendor of the journey includes the parts where we have to stop and rebuild. It's the state of being on a quest even when you're walking with a limp. So, how do we embrace change when the change is a loss? Gather the rings. Don't try to fix everything at once, just gather what's left. Acknowledge what is lost, but look at what remains. Your values, your memories, your strength, those are the rings. They are still yours. Accept the new pattern. The biggest mistake we make in grief is trying to force the old pattern back together. You can't unbreak the chain. You have to be willing to weave something new. It won't be the same, but it can still be beautiful. Steal your style with scars. In some forms of metalwork, the repairs are made visible on purpose. They become part of the story. Don't hide your grief. Let the new weave show that you have survived. That is true style. There's a deep irony in the strength of steel. We think of steel as something that never breaks, but any maker will tell you that under enough tension, even the strongest link will fail. The beauty of Grailware isn't that it's indestructible, it's that it's repairable. Because it's made of individual rings, you can always add a new one. You can always bridge the gap. We treat broken jewelry as worth repairing because we value the material. Why don't we treat ourselves the same way? Your life is made of precious material. Your quest is worth the repair. The irony is that a chain that has been broken and reforged is often stronger at the point of the break than it was before. As you go into your week, I want you to look at a broken chain in your life. Ask yourself, am I staring at the scattered rings, or am I ready to put them in the box? Can I give myself permission to weave a new pattern, even if it's not the one I wanted? How can I honor what I've lost by continuing the quest? Remember, Grailness is the state of being on purpose, and sometimes the most purposeful thing you can do is simply pick up the next ring. Be gentle with yourself. Keep your pliers close. Keep weaving. Thanks for listening to Embrace Change and Steal Your Style. Go look at a piece of chainmail this week and notice how every ring supports the others. If one fails, the others hold the weight until it can be fixed. Be that for someone else this week, or let someone be that for you. Until next time, stay in discovery mode, keep questing, and remember, Grailness is the state of being on purpose, on a quest between what is and what can be. You've been listening to Embrace Change and Steal Your Style, with Grailer 1, a cyber artifact, bringing the past to present the future for you. If today's episode spoke to a hurt you're carrying, please share it with someone else who is trying to rebuild. Let them know they don't have to do it alone. In our next episode, we'll talk about relationship change, how our connections with others drift, tighten, and sometimes unlink, and how to navigate that tension with style. Until then, hold on to your rings and keep weaving.